So we're going to move on to Student Body Vice President of Finance. We have one candidate, so this is an uncontested debate. However, I would like to encourage the audience to ask questions when it comes to audience participation time. So, Mai, you can go ahead and give your introduction under 3 minutes, please.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to echo the previous candidates here and thank the Tartan, cmuTV, as well as Media Tech for making this possible. My name is Mai Lee, and I am currently a junior at the Tepper School of Business. I am running for the Vice President of Finance position. So over the last 3 years, I've been heavily involved in many student organizations serving different functions, from social organizations such as Asian Students Association to professional organizations such as the Undergraduate Finance Association. Most notably, I've been a JFC rep for the past 2 years, and I think this has provided me with great experience and qualifies me for this position. So onto my platform. My platform consists of 4 main points. The first one is transition. I would love to ensure a smooth transition for new JFC members because one of the main problems that I've seen over the past 2 years is that new members usually during meetings are very quiet, they don't participate as much, and I think it's because it's this lack of transition and they don't feel as comfortable talking in front of old JFC members who already know each other and already very comfortable speaking out in front of each other. The second main point is bridge. I know the 2 BPO candidates up here have talked about collaboration between JFC and COSO, and I'd like to reiterate that this is something that I believe is very important, especially since during JFC meetings we'll see that there are 4 or 5 organizations that we feel serve the same purpose and have the same mission, and we don't understand the thought process that went behind the re-recognition process or the actual recognition of a new organization process. So I think bridging the gap between the 2 organizations is crucial for the future. The third thing is credibility. One of the new metrics that we established last year with NARA in place was a metric for spring break trips, and this year we've actually run into a couple of problems with metrics in relation to sports groups as well as conferences and just basically general events that we see a lot of clubs doing, and we think establishing metrics would be very helpful to create some sort of credible history for future student body vice president of finance. The fourth thing is raising the student activities fee. Now, like Will mentioned, we have over 250 organizations, and the rate at which the organization is increasing is a lot faster than the rate that the student activities fee is increasing. And therefore, if we truly want to accommodate for this growth without penalizing current organizations, then I think one of the most feasible way of doing this is to increase the student activities fee. Although I understand that that will probably face some opposition, and once again it is up to the student body population to vote on that if it does come up as an issue. So thank you.
Just I don't think the mic is really picking you up, so hold it.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so I'm going to start with questions. Independent income fundraising has been getting increasingly difficult for organizations. Do you have any ideas of how you can work with organization leaders to improve fundraising initiatives?
Okay. So as part of the JFC, we see a wide range of organizations, those who have $10,000 in fundraising and those who have about $100. And I think the difference is some of these organizations have experience in fundraising. So I guess creating some sort of communication or like pool of knowledge when it comes to the groups that do know how to fundraise effectively and are successful with groups, transferring that knowledge to groups who are new at fundraising and creating this common pool of knowledge. And another thing that I think both Will and Boone touched upon was alumni contact. I know groups like Spirit Buggy or Buggy in general, they have a lot of alumni contacts. Alumni come back, and it's something that is one of the best experiences that they've ever had at CMU. So they readily, give money to these student organizations. So I guess advising these groups to reach out to alumni, especially if they strongly believe, which I think they do, if they are participating in these organizations, that that the organization has created some sort of member experience for the alumni, to reach out to the alumni to donate money.
Thank you. In your platform, as well as in your introduction, You mentioned that you would like to increase the student activities fee. Many students have expressed intense discontent with the current student activities fee, so how do you plan to justify the necessity of this increase with said student population?
Okay. Well, I think one of the biggest problem is that students don't know where their student activities fee is coming from. They don't recognize that these organizations that they're participating is funded by your student activities fee. And I think this lack of knowledge is, I guess, the biggest block, the biggest roadblock against getting students to agree to increase their student activities fee. So I think education is a main point. Creating awareness among students and getting them to understand that the organizations that they participate in, it's only possible because of the students' activities fee. And if they want to continue the successful growth and expansion of the current organizations, then this is something that needs to happen. So I guess just educating the student body population as a whole.
Thank you. There's a lot of behind-the-scene decisions made on a case-by-case basis with student organizations. Where do you plan to seek transparency in the midst of confidential financial information?
That's a great question. So at the end of the spring semester, we have the budget ratification meeting, which is a joint meeting where we kind of talk about what the decisions that were made, but the decisions at large. Definitely to increase transparency, I would encourage these student leaders and future student leaders to attend this meeting to kind of understand what the thought process is and why we make the decisions that we do at large. But at the same time, to maintain confidentiality, definitely would not reveal any debt forgiveness information just because that is specific to the group that is on probation.
Thank you. In your platform, you talk about increasing collaboration between JFC and COSO. Can you talk about specific initiatives that you have in mind to bridge this connection?
Okay. So 2 years ago when NARA was VPF, we had a couple of meetings. We sat in on a couple of the COSO meetings. So I think that's a great, I think we sat on like a meeting or two. So to really give a jump start to this initiative, I think working with either Will or Boone, whoever the VPO is next year, to kind of set in stone meetings where both organizations will be there, but do it more frequently, as opposed to just 1 or 2 meetings, just to get like a flavor of the meetings. So just increase the frequency of the meetings that we'll hold.
Thank you. This is my last question. What initiatives are you planning to help smooth the transition of new JFC members?
Okay. So one thing I would really like is to have mandatory information sessions at the beginning of the year when the new JFC reps have been chosen. Individual meetings to kind of let each JFC member know their organizations ahead of time, and that'll give them a really good buffer time to, go to sit in on the general body meetings or meet with their assigned groups to really learn about their groups. And one big thing I would like to do is kind of have a mock JFC meeting at in the fall semester, where after I go through the different decision techniques or the different rules that we abide by, pull up a mock budget and kind of have everyone participate to kind of simulate what it would be like in the spring, to give them a flavor of what it is to sit in on a JFC meeting.
Thank you very much. That went quite fast. So I'm going to open up the floor to audience questions if we have any.